The hike to Sturtevant Falls is one of my favorite in the Los Angeles area. Come with me as we hike to it for the first time in over 5 years. From Los Angeles, it's about 45 minutes to the trailhead, and once you get off the freeway, it's a windy road up into the mountains to get there. When you arrive, there's space for about 40 cars to park, but on a weekend, it can fill up very early in the morning. It's really awesome to be back in this area, especially after it was closed for so long from the fires that came through here. This is one of my favorite hikes and it has a special place in my heart, but more on that later. Let's head out. This is one of the most loved hiking areas in Angeles National Forest, and it's been closed since 2020, when the Bobcat fire damaged much of the area and then winter storms washed away many of the trails and roads. This is one of those trails where you do all of your elevation gain at the end, so bring your energy as you hike downhill and you go all the way through the canyon, and on the way back up, it's basically straight up. It's really a great trail in the beginning as you're just walking downhill and taking in all of the views. Note that there's an offshoot that goes to Hermit Falls, but that one is still closed. Yeah, we're probably a week late, but it's still cool to see fall colors in Southern California. Pro tip for this trail, it is so busy on the weekends if you go here. You have to park miles down the road if you can even find parking. So definitely come on a weekday if you can, as I got here around 9:30 and there was still lots of parking in the lot. I was not expecting to see any fall colors, so these beautiful trees is really a welcome addition to this trail. I did this hike in the middle of November, and while there's not a lot of fall colors, this is more than I normally see in Southern California. Once I made it to the bottom of the hill, I saw the first cabin, and this one was severely damaged, but I don't know if this was from the fire or it was something previous. This is also where you go over the first water crossing, and there's a sign here that talks about all the cabins that you're going to see on this trail and how they've been here for over 100 years.
The last time I hiked it, there was a legit bridge out here, and it looks like it must have got destroyed in the fire, because I can see it right there, but obviously it's no longer here.
These cabins we're about to walk through have over 100 years of history here. There used to be one called Robert's Camp that could sleep up to 200 people, and it said that 5,000 hikers passed through it in 1919, but due to a decline in hiking, they had to close up. Unfortunately, that's one of the ones that's no longer here. As you hike through this area, it's really cool to learn about the history. The old trail was originally created by Wilbur Sturtevant in the 1890s. Back then, you could hike 4 miles down into the canyon to get to Sturtevant Camp, which was like a hotel in the backcountry. The camp is actually opening back up in January of 2025, so if something you want to do, you can book that online. As you make your way back into the canyon, keep a lookout for all the dams that turn into man-made waterfalls along the trail. This is one of the only hikes that I've ever really seen those man-made dams like that, and it's just so cool the way the water flows over them. These are actually called check dams, and they were installed in the 1960s to manage erosion and flooding. Shout out to the crews that got this trail back in working condition. All of the wood and the ways the logs are leaning against the rocks, I can't even imagine how much work it would have been over the years to get this back to a usable place, but thank you for doing that because I'm so excited to be back here again. During this portion of the trail, you'll enter an area where all the historic cabins are located. This is long before the area became a national forest. While it's not fully known how many of them were built, some records state that there were over 300. Now there are less than 80 of these left that you can see throughout the canyon. I'm honestly shocked that so many of the cabins are still here after the fire, but that is really cool to see. I've seen a couple that might have had fire damage, but most look like they're in pretty good condition. It would be so cool to have one of these cabins, to be able to come down here whenever you want, just spend the night right along the creek. Something else that's really unique about these cabins is that they don't have any road down to them, and they actually still have a working pack station where you can bring supplies down via donkey. After passing more of the cabins, the trail starts a gradual uphill towards the waterfall. All in, it's about 3.5 miles round trip with 700 feet of elevation gain. I should also note that you need an adventure pass for this, and you can buy one at the trailhead at Adams Pack Station.
So as I'm sitting here having a water break, I'm really reflecting on why this trail is so special to me. It all goes back to about 15 years ago when my friend Zach and I, neither one of us had ever done really any hiking. We decided to give it a try. We found ourselves on this trail, and I remember coming into this canyon, walking alongside the water, and then of course seeing the waterfall at the end, just how it kind of awakened something inside of me, and it's just this love for hiking. And over the last decade, That love has taken me all over the world and allowed me to see so many incredible places that I might never have done had I not have come down into this canyon and really fallen in love with hiking. Then you fast forward to today, and I was hiking this trail, and this guy named Sam ran up to me, who's a huge fan of the YouTube channel, and he said that he was actually watching my video that I made 7 years ago. If you want a good laugh, check that one out. And that's the reason why he was hiking here today. And just really connected with me because I developed such a love for hiking because of my hike here, and the idea that someone else could potentially develop that same love through seeing my video and coming out here and hiking is just so incredibly cool. That really solidified my love for this hike, but enough of the stories. Let's finish and go to the waterfall.
After finishing the last water crossing, which was easy to get around on the stones, you'll go past a bend and you'll see your first view of the waterfall. You'll have to do a little bit of light scrambling on the rocks to get up to its base, but nothing serious. Sturtevant Falls is an impressive 50-foot waterfall that cascades into a small pool at its base.
It's not a waterfall you expect to see in Southern California, right?
It's just as stunning to see this time, but there's something special about being able to see it again after a 5-year break. And I was really impressed with how good the flow was this late in the season. With some more storms coming in the following weeks, I'm sure it'll continue to get even better. I do want to note again that if you come on a weekend, it's packed down here. I went on a Thursday morning at around 10 a.m. and I was the only person at the waterfall, passing a couple people both ways on the trail. There's something special about having this place all to yourself and just getting to sit there, have a snack, and take in the views.
That's pretty hard to beat, right?
And with that, our time at Sturtevant Falls is done. Hopefully you enjoyed this hike and the stories I was telling. Let me know what you thought in the comments. See you on the next one. And come out and do this hike for yourself. Just not on a weekend.